All right, great. All right, so we are back in front of the charts for the New York session, trading the Nasdaq. It is now 10:18 a.m., February the 3rd, 2026. And today I got a chance to get in front of the screen at about 10:05, which is a lot better than I usually do. So first things first, when I come to the charts, we're gonna look at the daily just to get an idea of what price may be doing, like what direction it's going in. All right, so it's still pretty much sideways, like it was yesterday on the daily anyway. All right, cool. Next, go to the 1 hour. Mm-mm-mm. I gotta put my password back in. Y'all bear with me. All right, we're back. So my broker kicked me out by no big deal. It happens from time to time. So I had to sign back in. So looking at the price on the 1 hour, yep. Oh, I see a resistance too, right there. Yep. All right. I'm sorry, not resistance. I see support on this 1 hour right here, like 1, 2, 3 days prior. All right. And I can see prices starting to react at that level. All right, let me go ahead and get to that so I can catch this move, hopefully. Go down to the 5 minute. That's why I like to draw my support and resistance from. All right. Mm-mm-mm. All right, I like that right there. All right, so that's on the 5 minute. I'll draw that level. I draw my levels pretty quickly. It doesn't take me a long time normally, right? I'll draw that. Yeah, ideally that should be a zone. I might come back and make a zone of that one. Mm, mm. All right, we can go for that one too. That's one. I try to draw what's necessary, even though I don't like drawing a whole lot of levels. Definitely. This resistance right here. Price to the left, it reacted. Then to the right, it reacted before it broke to the downside this morning. And I put that one there. That one is not that clear to me, but I'll modify it if necessary. I just put it right there. Oh, price breaking today too. All right. So I drew all my levels on a 5-minute time frame. I don't know what this is. Okay. All right, let's change that. Now I go to my entry time frame on the 5 second. Let me resize this chart. One thing about price is going to do whatever it wants to do, right? However, ooh, that's too tight. All right, so I got in with a 12.5. That's way too tight. It's going to stop me out. That was premature on my behalf. If I get a chance, I'm going to get out of it. All right. I didn't like that trade, right? I rushed that one. All right. I do want to take it up. And the reason being is because on the 2-minute time frame, I see this wick right here, right? I see this rejection candle here. I see price. To me, it seems as if it wants to push up. However, that was not a good entry. That was too close of a stop loss. And I need something better than that. So I had to go with a 15 point. Because that was a 12.5. That was too tight. That was too much volatility. So the candle was bigger. The stop loss just wasn't large enough on my behalf. Yeah, I didn't like that. Mm. One thing I noticed, and you will too, while you're trading and becoming a better trader, the volatility in the early morning. So New York opens up at 9:30. Depending on the day, of course, is how large the volatility is. What I'm going to start doing is looking at the ATR, and that's the average true range on average. Right. So I think it goes back maybe 9 days. I'm not sure. I can go back into the indicator and it can tell me. But it'll let me know what the average of the days was as far as the range goes for that time frame. So let's say for that day, for the daily time frame anyway, and that'll give me an indication like okay, that not that the day is going to be a volatile day, but it will help give me an idea of how much price might move that day, right? How many points on average. Mm, that's interesting. So, oh yeah, but after after about 11 o'clock, the volatility in the candles aren't as large, right? From the open to the close, normally they aren't as the distance isn't as large. So I have two stop losses that I use at the moment. One is a 15 point, depending on how volatile the price action is, and one is a 12.5. But this morning, normally I trade around about 11 o'clock, but I want to come in front of the markets, let's say at 10 o'clock, and at least be situated and present before opportunities that normally start arising around about 10:30 before they even present themselves, right? So that's why I'm in front of the charts today, way before 11 o'clock. However, our 15-point stop loss right now still isn't wide enough, you know. So today might just be a volatile day, but at the same point in time, the candles might decrease in size closer to 11 o'clock. I hope so. Because just by eyeballing, when I got into that first trade, I thought that would have been more than enough, but it wasn't. No, it wasn't even close. It was super tight. So, mhm. But I'm interested in this level right here because this level right here is where price interacted and rejected from very strongly. You know, this blue level and then this zone right here. So I mix mine up the way I draw my levels and my zones. The price was dumping this morning, as you can see, right? All right. So this gray area to the left, this whole shaded box, that's pre-market. So the Nasdaq open, the market open, Nasdaq just dumped. I don't trade that early in the morning. I'm asleep a lot of times till about 9 o'clock, 9:30. When I get off work, I take a quick nap so I can be somewhat refreshed, and then in front of the charts with a fresher mind. So hopefully I can make better trades. You know? But at the moment, price is holding this level at the moment. That 15 points still tight too. If I do miss this reversal at one of these levels, I mean, price could still just dump all day long, but a lot of times it reverses towards the middle of the day, right? So if I do miss a reversal, or if price continues to dump, then I just look for a pullback. Pullbacks and reversals, that's all I trade. And I'm mostly focused toward the downside too. I guess that could have been a pullback. So, yeah, I don't like the way that pullback looked though. So I won't consider this a pullback necessarily. Mm. And I'm not chasing any prices. Either it's my setup or it's not. I don't take it. I'm trying my best to correct all bad habits, right? So if I find myself with bad habits, I write them down. I have them written down. I need to find them. What I'm going to do is write them down. I have a notebook to my side. Write them down in that. Take a look at them every morning, along with my trading journal. Right? I mean my strategy, right? That I created in Canva. Well, the outline anyway, to refresh myself in the morning and to keep it at the forefront of my mind before I get into the charts for the day. But correcting each bad habit, even if it's week by week, right? Or 2 weeks or whatever it may be. Like no over trading, no chasing the trade. Patiently waiting on your setups. That's it. Only taking your setups, even if you don't take a trade that day. And just because price is moving around and busy doesn't mean you have to be busy, right? So I make it a point when I find really good traders on YouTube, I don't just watch their content and not apply it. If they say something and the majority seems to speak about the same topic or the same psychology aspect, then I just follow that. Not over trading, 2 or 3 trades a day, a certain amount of money you're willing to lose each day, and a certain amount of money you're willing to lose each trade, and how many trades you're willing to take that day. Like having that set up to protect you if you start losing money, so that you stay in the game. So I'm just on here babbling, man, and preaching at the same time, really preaching to myself, so I can reinforce my own thoughts, and then also get better at this YouTube thing slowly but surely. mm, mm, mm. Mm. Oh, there's something too, right? Especially if you're a new trader, or even if you are not advanced trader, but more of a novice, I guess, maybe have some experience. When I first started learning how to trade, it was always I see people taking buys and shorts, right? Longs and shorts, buys and sales. And then I think I came across who was the first person. I don't know who was the first trader I heard speak on it, but I know it's this one lady. Man, I need to start writing these people names down. Like I'm subscribed to their channels, right, on my YouTube, but she only trades towards the downside. But it was somebody else I heard speak about just focusing on one side of the market, especially if you're just starting. Right? Um, you don't have to ping pong back and forth. That might be too much. That's a lot for me, but I'm working on it to see if it does work for me. Do I need to focus on more one side or both sides? I mean, at the moment, I am taking both sides of the market. However, I like to trade. I feel better just taking the short side of the market. But I shall see. Once I have more data on my trades, I don't know, after 50 or 100, I don't know. I look back at the data and try to see which ones perform the best. Because for me, a lot of times, if it's, I have to go, if I'm going long, then going short, I feel like I kind of lose my way or the way I look at the charts. The clarity just isn't there anymore, right? So that's something for you to think about also. If you never really heard that concept, because I didn't for a while, it was always you're going to take a long side and a short side. That's just it. Or you can just trade longs, you know? You can be bullish all the time and just wait for bullish setups or wait for bearish setups. And that might help you, you know. I've been thinking about it too. Because I only need like 2, 3 trades. I'm done. I'm not trying to take trades all day. If I can get my trades done within an hour, 2 hours, it's pretty much my trading time anyway. Or at least about say 10:30 to around about 12:30. So roughly 2 hours. I give myself a 2 hour trading window. A 1 to 3 is where I'm at currently. So 2 good trades. I might trail my stop loss. If I see price is really pushing, then I might go for something a little more, 1 to 4.5, 1 to 5, 1 to 6. And I still have to get more practice with that too. But that's just one concept that might help you guys. That's it. Mm, 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 mm. Uh, mm, 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 mm. Oh, I should have took that too. I was thinking about this because this is more like a pullback, and then it broke below this support here. That's okay. Could have took that right there. I might be looking at a trade if it comes to this blue level right here and rejects, becoming a resistance. I don't know about that one. I'm hesitant on that trade. So I still feel like price wants to push back up, right? But you know what? Since I don't really feel like I have clarity, I'm not going to take anything. If I miss an opportunity, there will be more. So I'm not even going to sweat it. I just don't, especially not since the way, not the way price rejected down here at the bottom, because on the 2 minute time frame, it's almost like a double bottom, right? One here, came back down and tested here, and it seemed like it wants to find its way back up to the top. And there we have it, right? It's climbing back to the top. I took a buy here because I seen it broke this level right here where this orange is. This was a POC from a volume profile. And I seen it push past that from a rejection point down here at the bottom. For real, that really wasn't an A+ setup, but I took it because certain things I'm still trying out to see what works and doesn't work, right? Okay. Well, trying to see what it does past this POC. That's this orange line to the left. You can't really see it so much because I have to zoom in on the charts, but and this is what I was looking at, right? So this area right here, all right, so I'm looking at, you can see my cursor with this pink circle. I'm looking at this price here to the left, right? Price touched there, it was a resistance. You look to the left, it touched there also. There's an orange line right here, which is the POC point of control from a fixed volume profile that I drew from the beginning of the session to about 10:30, 10:36. Price stopped there, it came back down here, rejected from down here, right? Came back and broke what would have been a resistance. And it broke that too on a higher volume candle on the 5 minute. On the 5 second, right? This candle here broke through. And that was a pretty large candle on volume. And it's a book called Volume VPA, Volume Price Analysis by Ann Cooling. Y'all can look her up on YouTube, check her out. She has some really good stuff. I think she's really helpful. I'm gonna see what it does here. If it rejects or it breaks through. If it breaks through, I keep it. If it rejects, then I'll probably get out because I might become resistance. Okay. I think I have like a 1 to 3. So I got in here. $15. It looks a little bit larger than the 1 to 3, but oh wait. Okay. I'm waiting to see if it pushes through. I'm close to my TP, my first TP. I'm only taking one TP. I don't. It's close. All right. Now, what I could have done right was held it because let me show y'all something, right? And y'all bear with me with my explanations, man. I'm new to this, all right? But I'm true to this, so I'm gonna keep on getting better and better at being a better teacher, I guess, to help other people too, as I help myself. And they say one of the best ways to learn something is also to help teach it. So, but if you look, let me right above this price, right? I have this yellow line is the 20 EMA based on the 5-minute time frame. I find that time frame and the EMAs, the 20 and the 200, to be significant and to hold more weight for whatever particular reason, right? That might not be the way that you see the charts, but it's the way that I see the charts. So I could have held price to the EMA, possibly. A lot of times, it wants to make its way back to the mean. But where price is right now, price is also rejecting from another level. All right there. Is that it? Let me see. It's 10, 20. No, not that one. Yep, all this right here. So on the 2-minute time frame, this right here is a wick, and this is a wick, and they're pretty close to each other, right? Along with this. So if you see, and this, all this area in here, it looks a little differently on the 2-minute time frame, but the way that I see it, this is this area, these points were resistance, all right? And this one right here shows as a wick. I think maybe it's a dragonfly doji. Small candle at the bottom, long wick. It doesn't look that way on the 5-second though. So it was a good chance I was thinking that, it might stall there or it could pull back. But I'm also learning too, like, okay, what is being greedy? Like, what is too much? I don't know that just yet. Like, should I keep trying to hold or should I just take my 1 to 3, get out of my trade, look for another really great setup and be patient and then just keep going for 1 to 3s? Because even if I have a 50% win rate at a 1 to 3, I'm still to the good and I'm still going to come out on top and be profitable. My goal is a 1 to 3 at a 60% win rate, right? And I know that if I increase my risk to reward, let's say instead of a 1 to 3, let's say I try to hold it for a 1 to 4 or 1 to 5, not only from what I've seen through back testing and a little bit of trading knowledge that I do have and experience, is that I've seen other traders who have way more experience, they speak about the same thing. So I really don't know. But I am looking for is finding this way at another support right here too. All right. I'm looking at this. Let's see. Bounce right on top, right at it too. Another thing too is when you have too many lines, sometimes you can confuse yourself, right? Because now I see this right here is a support. What this orange line is, and price tested perfectly pretty much where this other area right here to the left was a resistance in the same place pretty much where price broke here and then pushed all the way up to my 1 and 3. And then it's doing the same thing again, right? So, and that's a pullback. Now price wants to make its way back to the 20 EMA. I'm not gonna chase it though. Probably because I was talking. I could have took this here back up, but that's gonna come through experience anyway. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't even took it, even if I was fully focused and not talking. You know. But that was a good trade too, though. Came right back to it too. Could have took it on that second, right there. Yeah, that would have been another 1 to 3. That would have been a good trade though. I think that's also some fear too, because I don't like losing. I don't like losing, so I have to get over that. Because losing is part of winning when it comes to trading, I realize. So you're gonna have to take losses. You have to take chances, but really good chances on your setups when you see them. So that was a good pullback, man. Looking back, hindsight, that was a good pullback. But everything looks good, probably, looking back at it. So what I'm gonna, the next opportunity for the way that I trade is seeing what price does when it gets to this 20 EMA. Because I look for pullbacks, which I still call rejections, right? Because let's say this is price down here at the bottom. It goes up, it pulls back to this level that it broke previously. It rejects from that, and it goes back up. I'm only dealing with rejections in general. That's how I look at the market. So I look at a pullback as a rejection also. But rejections from major support and resistance areas, then I look for those for the most part for like a larger reversals. So, but I also look to see what price does when it interacts with the 200 EMA and the 20 EMA, and see if it rejects from that. Then I take that back down. We're going to see if it just breaks through it, or depending how the price action looks once it gets to that area. It might not touch it exactly, but it might get close to it. It might reject, or it gets right up to it, goes a little bit past it, and kind of consolidates around it for a little while, and then I might keep going or just keep going. So if it does that, I won't take it. But you know what I just did too? I kind of broke one of my rules because, y'all, that wasn't a good trade, bro. I'm gonna tell y'all that wasn't a good trade. I seen the opportunity. The first trade I did take the 1 and 3, it still wasn't a good trade because it wasn't necessarily a pullback, right, or rejection, because I waited for it to get past a resistance level and it broke past it on higher volume and a bullish green candle, which was a good trade, but it's not really a rejection trade. Hold on, let me see, because I might have been a pullback. Maybe it was. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It was more like a triple bottom though. It broke past that. This was a good pullback. This is a trade I should have took right here, according to my strategy, right, and my rules. Not this one that I did win on. So even though I won, I'm not gonna take any joy in it. I don't want to get in the habit of those breakouts. But I'm going to keep an open mind about that too, because I don't have everything set in stone just yet, because I'm still a novice. But that could have been, see, I don't have order book. I don't have book map. But from watching other traders and watching, you can go to the book map YouTube page, right? And you will see where they trade at. And you can get an idea for how book map works. Because the way it looks when it broke it, this area here, it probably was some um, passive orders right here. Mm-hmm. And then it broke through. So I'm going to keep an open mind about that. But according to my rules, it really wasn't a trade that was really, my trade, honestly. Mm. I mean, it was a good trade. Don't get me wrong. Not just because it won, but because it rejected from an area that was previously rejected from in that particular area, right? And it was like, it was a higher highs, higher lows. So it was like the first rejection, then it stepped up like 3 times. So pretty much like a higher low. And when I see that after a first major rejection, price, I see that structure all the time, right? And price starts to climb its way back up in the form of a reversal. And I see the market structure start to change. So it was a good trade, but it wasn't according to my rules. So I don't know. I go back to the drawing board on that and just keep an open mind on the wheel see. I write that down when I finish after my session is over and try to put that into my notes on my TradeZilla trading journal too. I have to think about that one. Because my goal is to always keep my trading strategy as simple as possible. Right? I like levels and I like zones, areas of interest for the most part. Not too many indicators. I have volume and I have this cumulative volume delta divergence indicator. That's the one where you see these little squares that says bearish, says bear on it, to let me know that there's a divergence in the CVD, which is the cumulative volume delta. And maybe I wouldn't take a trade strictly because of that, but they be hidden. It seemed like at least 50% of the time, right? So I don't know. I got to go back and do more back trading and looking at those too to see how much more weight should I put on those. But I like them, so I just have it on my charts to see if I get a good feel for them moving forward. Because if I would have took this, put my stop loss up right above it, that would have been a decent trade too. Yeah. And on the 2 minute, this area is a doji candle too. But I think a lot of that too is my fear of being wrong. And that's something I have to work on. That's a psychology issue. But we're going to fix that. I got a book by Mark Douglas. I got some more stuff. But they also say too, that psychology a lot of times is also based on your experience and your data. Until you get that, you don't know what truly works, Instead of you just looking at somebody else's the way they trade, That's the way they trade. So, but I could have took this too. That would have been a rejection. Looking at the 2 minute and this indicator that I see right here. That's okay. But yeah, what I was saying earlier, right? Oh, when you have too many zones and lines on your chart, a lot of times you might get stuck, and then you have analysis paralysis because you're like, okay, well, is it going to break this support and come resistance? But what about the resistance right above it? And then what is it? So that's something that I had to work out too and see which ones hold the most weight. But hey, practice. But I still feel like price is going to go up though, just from looking at the way and getting a feel overall how Nasdaq moves, and the S&P is similar. It found its bottom, and eventually it's going to slow grind its way back above this 20 EMA before the day is out. But as of right now, that would have been a good trade to a rejection there. Yeah. So I got to have more trust in my levels though. And the candlesticks, especially dojis and engulfing candles. That would have been a good trade too. That's what I get for being scared too, right? I missed two good trades. This one here and this one. That's okay. All right, so I'm looking at this and see how it reacts when it gets here. If it gives me the right reaction, then maybe I'll make a bullish trade. Because this level right here was a previous support. And then that bearish indicator just popped up too. I'm not gonna give that much weight though. My levels come first, along with the price action. And then the price action isn't confirming that whatsoever. It's consolidating though at this support, at this area of interest. All right. Like I said, this gray shaded area is a zone, and then this line is my support. All right. So this whole area is something that the price has to contend with before it makes its decision if it wants to go down or wants to go up. Mm. Okay. I guess the indicator was right again, huh? Look at that. So the indicator is what, 2 for 2 today? Yeah. Okay. Indicator's 2 for 2. Mm. Okay. But we're not gonna rush anything either. So, then I gotta get used to seeing when should I move my stop loss to break even, right? I don't know that just yet, but I'm learning. I don't want to move it too prematurely, but I also want to save myself from unnecessary loss. So, I don't know. I'm thinking like when it gets to a 1-to-1, but so it's like 15. So 1 to 3. I'll move it up. Nah, no, not yet. All right. It took me out, right? So I took it to a break even, and it took me out. Doesn't mean price would have came all the way back. I mean, it's coming back now, but it's a good chance it might would have stopped at this level and then continue back up because maybe they have some strong buyers here or something. I don't know. I can't see behind the candlesticks at the moment. But what I don't want to do is see. green and take green. You know what I mean? I want to make sure I'm on a 5 second time frame. So I mean, a 1 to 3 isn't that much, right? It's not that difficult to obtain. So yeah, I mean, but it stopped me out. So with a break even, that's cool. I don't know. Maybe I'll move my stop loss up. I'm thinking either when it gets to roughly a 1 to 1 or a 1 to 5, right? Something like that. Yeah. I think a 1 to 5 would definitely be enough. So yeah, so that was a good move because price did go to about a 1 to 5. I mean, yeah, a 1 to 1.5. And then it just looks like price wants to consolidate. So hmm, mm, mm, mm. That was one. So yeah, that was in good trades too. That was a good rejection. Should have took that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. Those were some good trade opportunities too. I missed those two. Hmm. It's okay. If I would have took those two that I missed, this one here off this rejection, which was a pullback into a support area, which was a previous resistance area, right? And it was a POC, point of control. A POC stands for within a certain span of time, right? If you have a fixed volume profile, you can draw it from one area to the next, like from that span of time right here. And this orange line is where the majority of volume transacted. The largest amount of volume transacted at this price, at this orange line, it's called the POC. And sometimes that can be support or resistance or just an area of interest that you might want to look at. So that POC that I opened up, I mean that volume profile that I opened up from about 10:30 to from 10:30 to 9:30 to 10:30 is exactly where this orange line that I drew, which was a resistance and became a support. Price came down, tested it, rejected from it strongly. Those are good candles and off good volume too, but I didn't take it. I think part of that reason is the psychology aspect of that is because I haven't been in front of the markets every day like I was supposed to have. I just been, I don't know, life been life. So right now I'm I rededicated myself, and so because of that, I will get better with taking those trades, right? And since I won one, you know, I guess I didn't really want to see a red day, but I got to get over that because if I keep that mentality, right, I'm going to miss really good trades. Like if I wouldn't have had that mentality, I would have took this trade and this trade because it lines up with my strategy. Up here, this was a doji candle on the 2 minute. That's this right here. This came over, lined up with this area here for resistance. Touch that, gave me an indication. A lot of times the doji is a sign of indecision on parts of the market, on behalf of the market, who's in control, buyers or sellers. Um, and a lot of times it's a reversal, especially at points of interest. And that's what it was, and it came back down. Right? I would have took that if I didn't let the fear of having a red day, because I had so many before. Right? I had a green one yesterday, and I'm trading small too, only 1 micro. So it's not risking a lot, but I still feel the anxiety when I take these trades. I don't know if it shows on camera or not, but oh yeah, I feel it. Right? So I have a little bit of money on the line, not a lot, but I do have potential to make more moving forward. So, but anyway, that would have been a good trade. That would have lined up with the way that I trade, because that would have been a pullback and rejection from a level. It would have been a micro. It would have been a minor support and resistance level, right? A minor resistance level, not a major. And came back down to test. That would have gave me a 3-to-1, you know. And then let me see, what else was it? Oh yeah, this one here. Price pulled back to this level, rejected back up. That would have gave me not that one. Let me see. That's 1050. That's 1058. Let me see. Mm-mm-mm. So okay, so that was that one. All right, that's one I got out of. So let's see. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Yeah. So I got in here, got out up there. Price came back, retested. Yup. That would have been a really good trade too. That would have been good because it pulled right back into it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those were good trades, man. According to my system too. That's all right. We gonna practice only, like I heard a guy say a long time ago, right? Say one thing about practice, you can only get better. You're not really gonna get any worse from practicing. So okay. I always keep that in mind. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. We got some support over here. All right. Mm-mm-mm. and also not to beat myself up because I hate missing trades, right? But that's part of the learning phase, so I got to take that. Like right now, some told me to take that trade. I promise. hmm Reversal, I mean rejection right off of this. That's all right. Still not the best setup, but it is right off of that zone, right, that I just drew. Scared money don't make no money, huh? Yeah, that's cool. Probably would have been. That probably would have got in about right there. So let's see. Yeah. I didn't take that trade, right? However, it lined up with the way that I trade. You know, if anything, I would have. If I did take it, I would have broke even because I would have moved the stop loss up because when it got to a 1.5, it definitely got there. Then I think I'm going to stop moving my stop loss up to a break even. But I also know too that I need to spend more time on the charts back testing so that I can become more comfortable, right, with the way I trade, with what I'm looking for. So, I don't know. So, um, but also too, right? So now price is coming back down into this same zone. I don't like taking these trades because price didn't elevate away from the zone before it came back and touched it with enough distance. I've noticed. You know what I mean? Like if price came down here, then came way back up here, and then came back down, and then rejected strongly. From my experience of looking back and trial and error, is that has a better chance of it being a rejection, as opposed to price already being close to the zone and then coming back into it. It might come back down here and then just consolidate and then break back through it, or just keep on consolidating and it might go back up later. But I mess around and get chopped up in that particular area. So I look for price to come from a longer distance before it reaches an area of interest and then rejects. You know, I find that to be more reliable. So Price might come back down and take me out. I would rather it had been a little bit further below this, but I see price, and I just spoke about this, but I want to take a chance and see what happens, right? Um, now I shouldn't even took that. See, I'm making mistakes already. But this is like another, like a double bottom forming because previously around about 1020, 1018, price touched there like 3 times this same particular area, right? But probably gonna take me out. But if it goes back up, I'm probably gonna get out because that wasn't a good trade. I don't like that. Well, I guess maybe it's not. See, I just mentioned that too, didn't I? About price consolidating in one particular area. Uh, if it take me out, it take me out. But if it pushes back up, I'm gonna get out. It just touched it too, right? That's okay, because I was damn sure gonna get back out of it too. That's cool. See, that's my mistake, and I just talked about that too. And I still did it. Yeah, it might be time for me to get off the charts, acting like that, because I just spoke about it. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. But I got to remind myself too. Maybe something that you probably can take into consideration also, right? I want to see something. Is that not to worry about being right so much. I mean, worrying about learning along the way and not being so like having a red day or something like that. Because I heard a guy say before, I forgot the trader's name. Look, man, if you're successful or you start making money before you actually have gained a skill over time with experience, it's luck. You know what I mean? That's what that is. That's luck. And that's not what you want. So I know for myself, I can't worry about so much about, oh, am I right? Am I wrong? As opposed to, I got to get the experience first. You know what I mean? So that's something I battle with also, like the psychology aspect of it. I'm trying to see if it pushes past this level up here. I think I have a good chance of it going back to, of it going to my TP. We're going to see it. Oh, okay. I'm going to move it. So it'd be like a 1 to 3. All right. So I'll move my stop loss up now to a little bit past break even. All right. So working on practicing good trade management too. I don't like the way that's looking though. I just got out of it, man. That's all right. That's okay. I think I'm done for today. I didn't like that price action, the way it was coming back. Normally, from my experience, when price breaks out like that and is moving, it's going to keep moving. I mean, it might pull back a little bit, but not make, you know, lower highs, right? Price broke all the way up here, came back, pulled back, make a lower high, then broke back below that structure. Man, the hell with it. But I have to give myself credit for even seeing that. And then sometimes it'll come back here, find support, and then go all the way back up. But we ain't trying to play no guessing games. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop right here, man, because I can actually feel myself um, becoming or having decision fatigue, and then that's when I start making bad decisions, man. Like this previous trade right before this one, what I just spoke about. But anyway, I call it quits right here. That's it for me. That's it for me. All right, see y'all guys tomorrow. Wasn't that bad of a day though. All right, peace. See y'all tomorrow, man.